Mortal Kombat 2 takes things to a whole new level with the introduction of several iconic characters. We first meet Kitana, the Princess of Eternia, speaking with her father, King Jared.
This was a gift from Lord Raiden.
But after Jared is defeated by the ruthless Shao Kahn, Kitana is taken in and raised by the Outworld Emperor as his own daughter.
Kitana, you're my daughter now.
Years later, Kitana trains in the forest with Jade, her closest friend and personal bodyguard. As the next tournament approaches, Jade presents her with a special weapon that could prove vital in the battles ahead. Meanwhile, the powerful sorcerer Shang Tsung returns, now serving Shao Kahn's ambitions. On Earthrealm, Raiden receives a challenge for the upcoming Mortal Kombat tournament. To stand a chance, he must gather one final champion. That champion turns out to be JohnnyCage, a famous Hollywood actor.
It's showtime.
Though skeptical at first, he eventually agrees to join Raiden and travels to the temple, where LiuKang, Jax, and Cole are already training for the fight of their lives. JohnnyCage immediately wants to leave after learning that people can actually die in the tournament, including Kung Lao. Seeing that Cage isn't ready, Raiden grants his wish and sends him home. Meanwhile, one of Shao Kahn's most loyal followers, Quan Kai, resurrects Kano, who was killed by Sonya during the previous tournament. As the tournament begins, JohnnyCage is forced to return and fight for Earthrealm. His first opponent is Kitana. Despite putting up a good fight, Cage is ultimately defeated. However, when Shao Kahn orders Kitana to finish him off, she spares his life, raising suspicions about her true loyalties. Another key figure is Sindel, Shao Kahn's queen, who faces Sonya Blade in battle. The fight is brutal, but Sonya eventually emerges victorious. What many people don't know is that Kitana has secretly been working as Raiden's spy all along, feeding him valuable information from inside Shao Kahn's empire. Then comes one of the biggest shocks of the story. Kung Lao is resurrected and forced to serve Shao Kahn. Under his control, he attacks Raiden and slashes his throat, leaving the god severely weakened. Using the amulet recovered by Kano, Shang Tsung drains Raiden's divine power and transfers it directly to Shao Kahn. The Emperor becomes nearly unstoppable, gaining godlike abilities and the power to regenerate from devastating injuries. With his newfound strength, Shao Kahn kills Cole, proving that no one is safe. Soon after, LiuKang is forced into an emotional battle against his own cousin, Kung Lao. Realizing there is no other way to stop him, LiuKang delivers the fatal blow. Shao Kahn then orders the resurrection of SubZero. Another character introduced in the film is a Tarkatan warrior. SubZero then makes a dramatic entrance, takes the amulet, and escapes to the Netherrealm. Surprisingly, Kano decides to retrieve the amulet so that Raiden's power can be restored. Raiden sends the team to the Netherrealm to recover it. There, they encounter Hanzo and ask him to guide them through the dangerous realm. At first, Hanzo refuses to help. However, after learning that Baihan is alive and somewhere within the Netherrealm, he changes his mind and agrees to lead them. The news enrages him, and he becomes determined to find Baihan. Before long, Hanzo begins bending hell back to its original form. Soon, SubZero and Scorpion come face to face once again. This time, SubZero changes his combat tactics and reveals a dual shadowy nature that makes him even more dangerous. By the end of the battle, SubZero is killed, the amulet is destroyed, and Raiden regains his power. Believing victory is finally within his grasp, Shao Kahn declares that he has won the tournament. However, Kitana renounces her allegiance to Shao Kahn and chooses to fight for Earthrealm instead. This leads to the final showdown between Kitana and Shao Kahn. With the amulet destroyed, Shao Kahn loses the godlike power he obtained from Raiden. Taking advantage of his weakened state, Kitana defeats Shao Kahn and brings the tournament to an end.